Another moving company from New York. This time it was from Long Island City, which is I mean it's Queens actually, but it's a board. It's called Long Island City, or it's like a it's what do you call it? It's a neighborhood or something like that. But it was way south of the Bronx, and it was right above Brooklyn, actually, over the bridge from Greenpoint and Williamsburg, where I stayed at, a year and a half ago. And it was just like so weird because like we went over the bridge that I wanted to take my bike and right over the bridge get to Queens. I just never did. And this time I went to the bridge. I went to it a couple times before in my car, like a month, 2 months ago, because I was over there. But it was like we went over there. I was like, and I saw Greenpoint and we went to this Greenpoint area, which I talked about. I walked to it, but I never really stopped there. I always felt not creeped out, but I just felt like I didn't belong there. I was weirded out by that place, Greenpoint. I don't think I even went to convenience store. There was a couple blocks away. It was McGinnis Boulevard, and there's another boulevard. That was the first time I found my way to Brooklyn. I was walking around, and I was just like, it was creepy and disgusting. It was like the biggest hood. Like I would compare it to like Patterson, maybe somewhat Passaic. Passaic was actually better than that area, and that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot, because I went there and it was a night, and I felt like not that I'm gonna get jumped, but I just felt disgusting. Like there was no humanity or something like that. But that's another story about Greenpoint. It used to be a Polish neighborhood, and eventually, actually, let me rephrase that. A week or 2 weeks prior, before leaving Brooklyn, I actually went to Greenpoint and I actually went to a laundromat. I still have the car. I have like a couple dollars left. I'm not gonna use it, but I just kept it. I did my laundry, and I actually went to a bakery, which wasn't all that great, but and I went to like an Asian restaurant, a sushi restaurant. It wasn't McGinnis. It was like one of the main avenues or something like that. But anyway, we drove to this place, and I was going to tell it to the guys. Oh, you know what? You ever saw that movie Gotham? I think it was a TV show Gotham. They filmed something in that bank because I remember being there, and it was it was just like military, like they had different acronyms that I don't remember. And then I saw these two guys walk, and they were talking about, oh yeah, I got this gig, this and that. So like they couldn't be the feds or something like that. And then he told me they were filming at that bank. It was in Greenpoint, but anyway, we drove to the neighborhood. We did this job, and as soon as even before we started the truck. The guy told me to be there 8:45. I was there like 5-10 minutes early. I waited like 15-20 minutes. I was like, is this gonna happen? I asked there was another moving company. They didn't know who these guys were. They said, or maybe they're like somewhere over there. I'm like, how do they not know that? And then we go in there, and these two guys walk in, and like, they started smoking weed. So I'm like, oh, I'm just like, and I'm starting thinking, like, why does every mover, especially from New York that I find, smoke weed? And actually, from U.S. moving, these two guys were from New Jersey, but the company operated in New York, but they were just weed smokers. It's like during the job or before the job, And later, it went like to, it was four of us actually, so the job went really fast. The guy didn't have a lot, It wasn't too serious, but I just started running up and down the stairs, just kind of how I like to do, and it was just, it just struck me bizarre. It's like, how people, like, you do a physical job, and someone you need to, cognitive, you need to use your frontal lobe, You got to be thinking a lot about angles, this and the other thing, A lot of guys, I noticed that if they're just, they have so much experience, or maybe they smoke weed for a long time. I think it's experience. They already know what to do. So even when they're weeded, they'll know what to do. But there was one guy that I actually, he just he was just confused the whole time. He didn't know what he was doing. I don't know how much experience he had. I didn't say anything, but we went to from Greenpoint. We went to Manhattan. It was in Harlem area. We were unloading, and I just wanted to run up and down the stairs. It was like the person was on sixth story. I remember a job I did from the Bronx, in like 2013, I believe. Me and this guy, Jeffrey, and, we did this job. It was like either fifth or sixth story, and the elevator was broken. And it was just like we had to walk upstairs just to get to the building, And it was just like, wow. It was like, 11, 12 at night. We finished at like 2 a.m. or something like that. It was just, a lot of walking. And it was heavy things. And then, the crazy part is, I was running down the stairs and I was reminded of that job, And I could go on and on, but I think I did. Then I told Jeffrey, why don't we just like leave this furniture piece here, And that was like one of the only negative things I experienced in that job. One of the main negatives as far as working, because Jeffrey over there was trying to make me feel like I was an a-hole, like I wouldn't do the job or something like that. There's people that make you do that, but I like to be physically fit, and the reason why I do the moving jobs is because you can physically fit, you can lift stuff, and you can feel it, not just the angles, but it's like, let's say you have stairs. Well, you run up the stairs in a slow pace, not too loud. You get a box, this and the, something like, when I take something like, I'm like, I'm taking a break. Some people will say, you're taking it slow. But like 1 or 2 hands, and, I don't want to overly exert myself, But, yeah, it wasn't too much of a bad day. I got paid $75 for it, 5 hours of work. I got sent the money today. I checked, it was on my Cash App, so I got paid for it, and the customer tipped me like $40. So all in all, oh yeah, it was $115 that I made for that job. It was at the end, we were in the truck, and I was like, yeah, it was still harm. So I'm just gonna get out and go to the subway. Like, no, because you're from New Jersey. I don't know this and the other thing. And some people are saying that he tried to hurt me with that. But before they were saying, oh, you should take the subways faster. Except, I'm thinking like, I'm in New York. It's a spring day. Why would I want to be on the subway in my car really fast? I feel groggy and tired. Just like, maybe I won't, but I'll get home and what? I'll be here in the basement. Maybe I could do some things outside. It's like, I'm not going to do anything. My bike doesn't work well, so I'm not going to really do anything around the house. All I'm going to do when I get home, I'll start drinking beer and I'll go on iVlog. So, I spent like 3 or 4 hours in the city. Man, it was actually pretty cool, I took the subway, and there was a cute chick. She went on the subway, and it was like, there's this problem I have with subways in New York. It says like, it said the bigger part, the upper part of Bronx and southern part of Brooklyn, which is Brighton Beach. So it's like, oh well, the way it came out, it came and waited to 10 minutes. So I thought it was gonna go the other way. I told her, oh, it doesn't go Lower Manhattan. And then I asked somebody, it says it does. So, I told her it does. And we both got on the train. 5-10 minutes later, we went. It took like 15-20 minutes or something like that for it to get to Lower Manhattan. But, I didn't go to like, certain streets so I could get on this subway. I went to the old place where I first started, when I first came to Brooklyn and I first came to the city. I spent like, a whole night there, a long part of the night, There was an alleyway, there was a bar. I went twice to the bar. I almost got, I was gonna fight with a Mexican guy. I think he was a Mexican guy that works there. He just started staring at me in my face, And the guy was a cunt. And I told him, like, oh, what the fuck are you doing, bro? I was like, well, you gonna do something? He backed off, and then like an hour later, he started doing the same thing. Till later, I went out of the bar. I bought a 6-pack. I was drinking. I was these rats. I started feeding them. And I think he came up to me. He was just trying to be grimy and shit. I'm like, what, are you going to do something or some shit? I thought like, he's going to take out a blade. Like, take out a fucking blade, bro. What do you hate me for, bro? Get your job. Give me a beer, I'm not going to go back just because I already told it. This guy had like this little beer left. He just fucking took it, And then the guy's like, oh, we're going to get you another. I was like, well, why does he do that shit? But, there's so many things that happened there. Anyway, I went to that neighborhood and it was, I believe it's on the Bowery. It's East Houston Street. I went to the same military store. This dude is on YouTube. Like, a lot of people saw him on YouTube. He has a really good military store. He's a very friendly guy. I bought like one thing from him, like a knapsack that can hang over my head, very small, but all different compartments for like my tobacco, my pipe, and my tobacco, and my lighter, and whatever. Smoking paraphernalia. Now, how some people think, because, you're too stupid and narrow-minded to understand. But, I bought that. It was like $20. It was a good deal. It was so cool. And I just went over to the park. And, I started watching people play basketball. And I just noticed, like, these guys were all fit, this and the other thing. But it felt so much animosity and anger from a couple people, and some people just shot air balls like in 20, 30 seconds, no, in like a minute, two guys shot air balls. You know, it's like, wow, man, like even the guy that was getting angry, he had the right to be angry. He was like, nah, don't give him anymore. At least that's what I thought. So like, what are you doing, bro? But a couple seconds prior, he shot an air ball as well. And it was just like this ego power trip, you know? And it's just like, that's not fun to me, you know? I wouldn't enjoy that. And, you know, I went and I found it was, people let me know it was Soho. I thought it was the Greenwich Village, but it was Soho. It's right next to each other. It was on the west side. I got a nice latte. And I went back and I watched footballers, soccer players. They were young, they weren't all that great, but, you know, there was females that could fucking shoot. There was females that could play, except they didn't have the right structure or the form, and it looks like they weren't coached to have plays. So I was just, you know, making remarks, but it was anything negative, you know, I was being positive, you know, and it was a good watch, you know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my time in New York, you know. But I just don't understand how people like get intoxicated, and it's like you have to do physical work. You have to use your mind for like, you know, other else than, you know, either make jokes or just be relaxed or like create music or something like that. And even that, you know, I found like if I get intoxicated with beer, like, you know, a lot of times it just might not come out as good. You know, maybe or maybe not, depending how much you know, effort you know, I put in, how strenuous it is. But those two guys, no, the one guy was driving, you know, he was telling me, he actually gave me good, good, I don't say coordinates, good idea to what subway to go, but then he was like pretending like he didn't want me to find a subway. And when he stopped and he let me out, it was the same store, it was an African store that I still have the drum, like a 50-gallon drum, I bought it for like either $55 or $60 from an African dude. And I bought something else that they later stole from me, but you know, it was a grater. It was a crucible, an African crucible for $40, and that was missing from my car. But it was the same store, and it was just closed. I was like, oh man, it was like what, 3 p.m. or something like that. That store was closed. And there was another store I went out, and you know, I bought like this T-shirt, this Baby Jason T-shirt. It says, you know, I wish it was Friday. You know, it was for $20. But and then, you know, right there was the Subway. But it was just weird. Like, people play these games with you, man. Like, I didn't do anything to any of those people, any of those, you know, any of you. Just because, you know, I use my mind. I'm not sadistic. I'm not evil. I'm not homosexual. I'm not even too sexually crazy in the day about thinking sexual acts. You know, I think about work, this and the other thing. I was thinking about, which idea I had years ago, how to put vines, direct vines all over buildings to, you know, stimulate clean air, reduce temperatures. I mean, there's people, let me know, only a couple million people in the world would like that. I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people just hate it. People think it's disgusting or just worthless, you know? But yeah, I was running up and down the stairs. I only did it once or twice, you know? Actually, I did it twice. And I just figured out, oh, you know, it's because we had to take the elevator, this and the other thing. It was just, the unloading was very slow. I thought it would be faster, but the elevator slows down, so it was small, there's a lot of walking, and, you know, there's nothing that could have been done. But all in all, it was an alright job, you know. It was a gig. Afterwards, like, you know, hour afterwards, actually half an hour afterwards, I took the subway, and, you know, I contacted the guy, and he said, oh, yeah, you know, I'm going to talk to the guys, how you did this and that, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I'll call you like an hour, 2 hours from now. I was thinking about charging up my phone or something like that. And then we talk, and he's like, you know, or that time we talk, and he's like, you know, how do you feel about working tomorrow, which is today? I was just like, I didn't say anything I was going to do. I'll call you back, but I was like, I didn't even tell him this is not going to happen. What's the point? You know, these guys, the movie company, and you know, I feel bad for people like that in New York, like Manhattan, Brooklyn, you know, all the boroughs, maybe like, you know, even Staten Island or something like that. But streets are tight, cars are parked, you gotta move the truck, you know, you gotta park the truck. We spent like an hour driving or close to an hour from the loading to the unloading location. Then it was gonna be like a little bit more. And, the window didn't roll down. These guys were smoking their weed, and I was just, I wasn't high. One of the guys, his name was Omar. I thought it was the funniest thing because I'm driving. It's like, I checked, it's 11 after 8. I got like 25 minutes to get there. And he just texts me. He says, hey, this is Omar. I just remember from his radio station, there was this guy. It was a joke. And he got played by a chick. This is Omar. She made him feel small. And I thought it was, the guy. He used to work with Nicholas over there. I was like, did this motherfucker know I'm moving job? He's fucking just figured out he's texting me and shit. But then I read he said cuz. It's just funny because I don't think Nicholas could say cuz. It's just like he's not that strong with it. He's just like a little sissy, Not saying he's Jamaican or sissy, just like homosexual guy. He just cuz. He just says with an S. You're like, why the fuck would I do that? I couldn't say. I don't want to get an H strike. I only got one. I got 2 strikes already. The homosexual couldn't say there. Let's be all liberal about this. So I was like, good, it's not Nicholas. But yeah, we just smoke. You wouldn't believe. And it's like, another thing is like, you smoke more of that weed, it's hot, and it's like, you got to drink water, man. Even the tobacco, like I had a gallon of water. Went in like 2-3 hours for me. I didn't even sweat that much. I didn't even go to the bathroom till like later. I don't know. It's very odd. And like two of the guys said, "Oh, I need something to drink." One of the guys said he wants a soda. I was like, "Wow, man! Like, it's hot. This and you're gonna have not just this fructose corn syrup. Even your Coca-Cola with real cane sugar. It's just sweet, man. You drink it like 10-20 minutes later, and you're still dry and dehydrated. But the customer, like, bought us all big Poland Spring waters, and I thanked them this and that. It was a really nice thing, but all in all, yeah, this is one of those vlog videos, it's a perspective video. They had these Amazon baskets, they called them, and it was just like, I saw that, this is just a great idea. Why put like everything in cardboard boxes and then you use them only once, and then either people keep them or reuse them or just throw them away? It was just like, they were polyester plastic or something, and they had a cushioning, so you could just drag it or pick it up. Miscellaneous items. The guy even said, yeah, we put miscellaneous items in that. But it was just so efficient. And then the client just takes it out, puts it whatever. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and then you just put it back on the truck, Instead of polluting and just, creating a product that just, is useless after all. It was a brilliant thing they had. That was the coolest thing. They didn't use, not too many pads were necessary, but, pads were there, dollies, this and the other thing. But that was another thing I noticed, It goes back to my pads and rubber blankets, but something with rubber or something that will hold the pad together. You wouldn't even need tape or shrink wrap, But that was one of the coolest things I noticed that they had that I rarely see. But all in all, it was a good day because I got to chill in New York, and I walked around, went to the the military store. What else did I get? Did I get some food? No, I don't think I think I got. Oh yeah, I was walking around. It was at I was walking to the L train. Everybody knows New York, so I was like, nah, I'm gonna take the L train, then I'll take the G train. It'll take me all the way to Queens, I'm walking, and I'm looking this and the other thing, and I smell this pizza place, which is, it's not bad. I looked at it, it was not too bad. I said that, like 2 people who walked by me just started laughing at me, and someone let me know, like, that's nasty, it's disgusting, like nobody eats there. And it was like me and 2 of the guys, we were different, angles. I just felt like it was the singles pizza day, like guys that just, are broken and lonely. I think that happened before. And so, we're all single, we're trying to find the right one. You can find a guy, I'm trying to find a girl, it's alright, we don't have to argue. It's like, I looked around, I was like, wow, can a couple sit down, like your grandma, it'd be creepy. But I think they were smart about the pizza. It's like it wasn't even that bad. So yeah, I had bad pizza when like pepperoni must have been all, and I had a stomach ache. It was actually pretty decent. I found one pizza place, and there was a line. It was just a really long line, and the pizza looked really good, but it was like I'm not gonna spend like I don't know, like 15, 20, or 30 minutes, And it was in Soho. It was like, and Soho is just so beautiful. Anybody that been in New York, you go to Soho. And it's like, I have the only little shops. I found I found a cafe place over there. I got a latte. It was actually really, really good. I love Soho. I love just walking through there and stuff like that. But yeah, that laughter, I was like, what the fuck are you laughing at? It's so funny. Like, is it because I'm by myself and they are too? It was the Lonely Pizza Hut Club. Yeah, we're like the Breakfast Club, except, we're just a bunch of geeks. We're all the same. Like, the little minuscule guy. I had the gloves on, so, maybe I could transition. So anyway, I found my way. Yeah, what? Oh yeah, I walked to Houston Street, this and that. Then I got on Delancey. And I was like, why don't I just walk, take Delancey, and just walk to Williamsburg and get on the G train. But I was like, fuck, it's getting late, this and that. It's not even getting late. I don't want to be a weakling and shit. It was just that it was getting windy, and I had my shorts on for the movie job. It was getting like kind of cold. So I was like, fuck it, I want to just get on a train and go home. I got on a train, I found my car, this and the other thing, and I drove like a little over an hour to Jersey and shit. I got home and I had a couple beers. It's like nothing really happened. I don't know if I even got an iVlog. I just, I went to sleep and stuff like that. It was just a grimy, gritty day, but it's the, I smoke tobacco, this and the other thing, but, it's like, it doesn't slow me down. It doesn't get me groggy. And like, it relaxes you. Weed relaxes you. But it's like, when you do a movie job, you got to have a fast pace, man. Like, you got to keep moving. You got to have energy. You got to get a sweat going, It's like, I don't want to be in the place where I'm dragging my feet and just have a comfortable job, Another thing, actually, I thought it was a moving job, but it's like a guy texted me about a driver position, 4 to 5 days a week, $150 a day. So that's it. I do 5 days, and it was just, it wasn't like you pay taxes from that, but it was like $750 a week. That's not bad, it's not the best, but it was just driving and like pallets. I was like, I don't want to do that. And it was overnight as well. So it's like, I'll do whatever, 8 hours, I'll get home like 7, 8 a.m., whatever, and it's like, I sleep during the day, I wake up, it's afternoon, and I've been there before. And it just wears me down after a while, become a nocturnal being, which I can. I thrive at night. It's fine, relaxing, it's quiet, it's subtle, it's peace, but, it wasn't a movie job, it wasn't a physical job, so it's like, I can't do it. It's not about me getting fat, it's about me sitting on my ass and just driving. Even though you drive at night, it's the best, because there's no traffic or minimal traffic, and, you get by wherever you want to get by. But I was like, I declined it. Yeah, I'm thinking about writing a resume, this and the other thing, just applying to like major companies, even if it's part-time or full-time, but like, I'm very weird about Craigslist jobs, because, it's just like, it just either crooks or just people doing drugs. These guys, like, they wouldn't steal anything like that. They wouldn't mess with me, but people mess with you nonetheless. It's just like, it's just a grimy, just a grimy atmosphere from a lot of people, unless you meet somebody that genuinely needs help and like this and the other thing, but it's like, then you just got to move on your way, yeah, it kind of sucks. Craigslist is good, but it sucks at the same time. For that particular company, the guy was telling me he needs a driver. He was talking about like, and the price at Craigslist is like, you start you at 15, because I got 15 an hour, but it's like, it goes up to 24 based on experience. Even I got $24 an hour, I got to pay for the tolls, right? And there's a traffic cone, which is understandable. I get it. I know what I signed up for. I don't care about that. But it's like, even if I get $20 to $24 an hour, and it's, I don't know, I wouldn't want to do that. Not into that, especially the guy said 80% of the jobs are like in the boroughs. You know, I don't know. Maybe I should just stay, working like moving jobs in New Jersey. Because it just even these guys talked about. One of the guys talked about those are drivers. Like it just you get to the place, you have a driver. It's in Pennsylvania. It's like even the suburbs. Yeah, it's the best. As a driver, you get exhausted, you get stressed from that. You park it. You don't know if you got to move the truck. You got to know how to park. One guy wants to leave. Even like people go, oh, I'll be on 5. I want to get in 5 minutes, but they're like 20, 30 minutes later. It's like they're not gonna give the exact time. Who will, right? Nobody wants to see the driveway, blocked nonetheless. So as a driver, you experience that stress and it's on your mind. So right off the bat, I was like, oh, I don't know. I know I'm not gonna do that. I'm not into that for any money. But yeah, I just treat it as a gig. I needed a couple dollars in my pocket, and I was like, the good thing was like, I wanted to be in New York. If it was like, I don't know anything about Connecticut. It was Connecticut, like, oh fuck, well let me just get home right now. But it was like, I'm in the city. This I could go to Brooklyn. I didn't want to go to Brooklyn. I only went to the subway and I just took the other train. I didn't want to walk around there. I was in the city. I walked around, walked to my one or two spots that I knew, the one spot that I knew, and it's like, it was just cool to be there nonetheless. That's the only reason why I went there, and the money and the job. But yeah, one of the things the guy told me is like, this is only one job. We load and we unload. Imagine, they have like 2 or 3 jobs a day. And it's like, you do this, I get it, but, oh man, like it's getting hot. The window doesn't roll down, the air is weak, and it's like, New York, it's just off the concrete and asphalt, it just gets hot. You stand in traffic, I'm like, oh man, that just brings you down. That tires you out more than the moving. When you get out, like 20, 30 minutes, you move around, you drink some water, and you're fine again. But it's like, I don't want to go through that. I don't go through that.